Good evening. I'm George Herbig, Chief Forecaster, here with Weather Now Kentucky. We have an update for you regarding some changes to the snow forecast for tomorrow. A winter storm set to impact our state starting here roughly within the next 6 to 7 hours for a lot of folks. So, coming up pretty soon here, so some changes to timing, changes to overall amounts for some folks. Some folks really going up on amounts, some folks coming down a little bit. We'll show you where those changes are. We have our newest forecast. Just finished making it about 10 minutes ago. I'm sure that during this forecast or during this broadcast, it'll probably change again because that's the kind of event this has been. We've seen maybe not necessarily a shift, but an overall real big difference in the idea of where freezing temperatures may set up above our heads. And I'll show you those changes here soon. Of course, as you're coming into the broadcast, if you would not mind, I already see some folks on it. You guys are getting trained up pretty well. Share the broadcast for me, please. That's the biggest way that you can support us is by sharing our broadcast and sharing our material. And also helps other folks to get informed and updated on what to expect because there are a lot of changes with this, guys. So I want to make sure we're getting as many updates out as possible. At some point, we're just going to throw our hands up in the air and kind of just nowcast this. But until that point, we're going to give you our best effort on forecasting what is to come here. So thank you again for all the shares and likes. Once we get to about 70 shares, I know it's about time to go. So thank you guys for all your help with that. Dylan, Timmy, Dana, Mark, J-Rod, Teresa, Robbie, Laura, everyone else, thank you guys for sharing the broadcast. Appreciate you. Ellison, thank you for your 99 stars. Good evening to everyone coming in here. Ethan, Storm Chaser on YouTube, IGL on YouTube. Hello, how are you guys? Dallery, hello, how are you from Girard County? Phil out of Owsley County, which by the way, I need to update that. There was that confirmed tornado out there the other day. It's crazy. We've gone from tornadic activity to snowfall, and we'll go to a big, unfortunately, big flood potential over the next 5 to 10 days. And then we may see another wave of snowfall near the 16th to the 21st. It is an absolutely wild 14 days of weather ahead. Thank goodness we had a pretty relaxing fall because this winter has been full-fledged off of the bipolar meds or something. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I mean, I do know, but a pattern like this, I mean, this is an absolutely insane time frame. I mean, genuinely, I obviously tonight we're gonna. If you just, by the way, if you're just now hopping on the video, you have not missed anything. We have not started on things. I'm giving everyone a moment to settle on in, giving everyone a moment to like and share that wants to like and share, and so on and so forth. So, just to recap real quickly, this has been an insane winter. And I know tonight and tomorrow and maybe Wednesday we're talking about the snowfall, and rightfully so. But the bigger story over the next 7 to 10 days is the amount of liquid that we're going to see in our state. We've already seen upwards of 3 to 5 inches of rain over the last 72 to 96 hours, and now we're forecasting an additional 5 to all the way up to 9 inches of rain or liquid over the next 7 to 10 days. I mean, an absolutely insane amount of liquids coming our way for what is typically a pretty dry month in our state, regardless of snow or rain. So lots and lots and lots and lots of activity upcoming. And lots to break down on this year as well. So I want to say real quickly, thank you to everyone tuning in here. I'm George Herbig, Chief Forecaster here with WNK. You have not missed a thing. Again, we're waiting for everyone to kind of get settled in. But we'll go ahead and start rolling this here soon. We are talking about a winter storm to impact the area, a pretty big chunk of Kentucky now. Originally, the thought was mainly just northern Kentucky. The thought now is that the threat is moving to the south, more into Kentucky. And we'll talk about those changes. We do have a new snowfall map ready for you. We're also going to look at the latest model data, the latest National Weather Service's snow forecast, so on and so forth. So we're going to look at a lot of stuff here with you guys. I'm going to say real quick hello to everyone's coming in here. Let's go ahead and pull this main screen. I do want to show you where the current watches and warnings are set up. So this purple or blue or whatever you want to call it, I'm going to change these colors so they're a little bit easier to see eventually when I get a second. Winter weather advisory. Winter storm warning exists for the folks in pink. You're going to ask me, George, do you expect this to move up based upon the latest data that we've seen for the last 6 to 7 hours? I'm surprised this hasn't already moved. Again, you could probably, I'm going to pull out the drawing tool here from WeatherWise. By the way, we're using the WeatherWise radar app to see this. You can download that for free in your app store or go to weatherwise.app. I'm getting better at this whole sponsor thing, aren't I? I'm getting better at that. Anyway, even though they're a sponsor, it's the best radar out there. All right. So I'm gonna use green here, and these counties up here can probably be dropped from the winter storm warning. I'm pretty confident in that. These counties down here probably need to be added to the winter storm warning. So I think you can easily drop their row off of the northern side and add a row onto the southern side. You can also add these 3 counties or 4 or 5 counties out here to the winter weather advisory. Again, I do think you'll see some of these changes take place. Also, it's kind of getting to the point, guys, where we're 5 to 6 hours away from this thing starting. And, we've forecasted a lot. The National Weather Service has forecasted this a lot. We hopped on the conference call with them today. At what point do you just stop and say, hey, just look out the window? Because an event like this, I will tell you that out of all the systems, we've had a lot of systems this winter. We've had a lot, dating all the way back to December, really. And this winter, out of all those storms, this is by far the one. I have barely any hair left, okay? And the reason for that is systems like this. I'm telling you, no matter who you trust, no matter who you watch, no matter what you tune into, take it easy on them tomorrow. Because there is going to be some areas that are going to be wrong. There are going to be some areas that don't get as much snow as forecasted. There are going to be some areas that get more snow than forecasted. The reason for that is a 1 degree difference. And I'm going to show you that so you understand for yourself and not just us telling you. All right? Because I know some people are going to hear that and say, oh, you're just playing it safe. You're just covering your butt. I'm not. That's genuinely, science exists for a reason. And they tell us 32 degrees is the freezing line for a reason. It's going to come down to that very, very critically. So, real quickly, just once again, I do expect some changes to happen to this. Once those changes do occur, we'll get them posted out for you. Let's go ahead and look at the model data real quickly. And then again, we do have our new forecast ready for you. We're going to show you here in just 1 second. Or just a few moments, I should say. Once again, I want to say thank you to everyone that's liking and sharing the broadcast. Man, you guys are going crazy tonight with the support. Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys. So, real quickly, before we get into the actual real model data here, I want to show you. I'm going to show you an old run just so you can kind of understand the headache that we've been going through today. This is going to be an old run from earlier today, and I want to just show you what it displays. So I want you to remember this. Keep this in the back of your mind. And when you ask why is meteorology or why is forecasting so hard, you look at that real quickly. All right? I'm going to show you a new run. All right? And this is just over a span of 12 hours. Not even 12 hours. Probably more like 8 to 10. Okay, now let's look at the details as to why that's occurred. By the way, this model is one of the least aggressive models that there is. There's another model out here that's been way more aggressive with things. And look at the difference that. So that's now. Again, I'm going to show you the actual why stuff is occurring. I'm going to show you our forecast and everything as well. So don't worry. I know I'm kind of going through this fast, but you're going to see a lot of things. That was now. This was earlier today. So again, when you ask why sometimes forecasts are wrong, sometimes it's not us. Sometimes, hey, the saying, I'm trying to say this in a PG way. Stuff happens. You know what I mean? Stuff happens. This is by far a really big shift to occur within like a 12-hour period. A really big shift to occur. All right, so let's look at why that's happening. Because I think it's really critical to understand why that's happening. So I'm going to pull this back to a newer run, not the newest, but a newer run here. I'm going to just show you. So these are the temperatures above our head. All right, I got to remember that in situations like this, and for all of our storms, our temperature at the ground is not the only thing that matters. We've seen snowfall occur up to 39, 40, 41 degrees. We've seen snowfall occur well beyond what people think that it can occur, right? It's the temperature above our heads, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 feet, etc. above our heads. Those are the critical ones. And I know it's kind of hard to comprehend sometimes, not for you guys, but like just overall thinking about how there's a snowflake has to travel several thousand feet before it gets down to the ground at us. And at those several thousand feet, at different layers, there can be different temperatures. And depending upon those temperatures is whether or not that snowflake exists or survives all the way down to the ground, or whether it turns into a sleet pellet or a freezing raindrop or a regular raindrop or grapple, all those different things. Even our storms in the spring and summer, they start as snowflakes. Yeah, genuinely, it starts all the way up there. It's always frozen up there. All right. So I want to show you. This is our above our heads right now. Kentucky's below freezing. The freezing line is blue and green right here. So you see 0 degrees Celsius, that's 32. 1 degree is 33. And that's going to watch. I'm telling you, just watch this map. So snow starts at this time. Warm air is trying to scoot up. All right, now that line's along the Kentucky-Tennessee border. Then it's going to stall for a little bit, and then it's up, 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 up. So the problem is we have warm air trying to surge above our heads to the north at the same time. Here are your temperatures at the surface. At the same time, We have temperatures at the surface trying to dive into a colder solution to the south. So we have cold air trying to move south at the ground, and warm air trying to move north at the 2,000 and 5,000 feet layer. It makes for a complete headache of a forecast because 1 degree can make all the difference. I want to show you this one more time. Look at the temperature here. So, for example, in Warren County, 0 degrees Celsius. To the right, or just to the southeast, 1 degree. That's a difference of just 20 miles. Look at my cursor. Watch the cursor. 1 degree above, 1 degree at 32 degrees. So again, even a half a degree may make the difference here. BS. Oh, that's getting banned. I'm showing you. I can't make this up. I'm showing you it on the screen. I love when people just say BS or like I'm lying just to like be adults. You know, I'm sorry to say it. I'm showing you this in real time. I'm not just speaking out of my butt on a podcast here. I'm showing you this in real time. So again, I'm going to show you that at, let's say, 4 a.m., you have Hart County here at -1. By 8 a.m., they're at 32. By 9 a.m., they're at 34 degrees. So the difference is genuinely going to be coming down to maybe a half a degree or 1 degree. And that could be the difference between you getting an inch of snowfall and a bunch of rain, or 5 inches of snowfall and a little bit of rain. Okay? So let's go ahead and show you the reflectivity and precip type. But anyway, let's go ahead and show you this. So I'll zoom into the local view. If you look up to the top left, you have your timestamps. 6 p.m. Central Time is when this model starts. So you just follow those timestamps there. You'll see the timing for yourself for all those folks asking about timing. Alicia, thank you for your $5 donation over there on YouTube. I appreciate that. So advance this forward. We'll go ahead and skip all the way to about 11 p.m. Central Time, which is midnight Eastern Time. All right, that's when some rainfall arrives. It's going to take a little bit of time for the rain to convert over to snow. Something really cool is going to happen. It's called dynamic cooling. When the rainfall is going heavy enough, it can actually pull down cold air from way up where that rainfall is starting. Pull that cold air all the way through the atmosphere to the surface and cool the column to below freezing. I know that's a really cool thing for me because I think it just shows how powerful our world can be, our nature can be. So originally this is going to start as rain for a lot of folks, all right? Or maybe some really, really, really big, wet, heavy snowflakes. All right, by about 1 to 3 a.m. Eastern Time, you'll see a snow tries to take over. That's the dynamic cooling occurring, all right? Advancing this forward to about 4 to 5 a.m. or so, you'll see some heavier snows ongoing near that freezing line. I will tell you, wherever that freezing line sets up. Right now, for example, this model has it just to the south of the parkways. You'll see it right here, where it goes those really hot pinks to the purple. Purple is sleep, by the way, to the green, which is rain. Whoever is just going to be on the north side of that freezing line is going to see the heaviest snowfall. You're going to get massive flakes. They're going to come down at almost 2 inches per hour, which is really, really, really heavy stuff. And they're going to be accumulating very fast. I know that the ground temperatures are at about 40 to 45 degrees, depending upon where you're at, and you're wondering, hey, George, can snow really stick on surfaces that are that warm? They absolutely can, and I always like to use the metaphor of this. Think about you having a cup, all right? That cup is empty. You go to put some water in there. It's room temperature water, okay? So it's warm. It's above freezing. Put 2 or 3 ice cubes in there. Those 2 or 3 ice cubes are going to melt pretty fast. If you put 20 or 30 ice cubes in there, like, say you fill that cup up with ice and water, the ice is going to last longer because there's more of it and it's coming down heavier and it's coming down faster. It's the same thing with the snow. The ground can be above freezing. It can be whatever temperature it wants to be. But if that snow is coming down heavy or fast enough and those snowflakes are big enough, they're going to accumulate regardless of the surface temperatures. So I know there's a lot of skeptics out there wondering how can this stick if it's above freezing? Well, if it's coming down heavy enough, it doesn't really matter what the surface temperature is. All right, they can overcome it. And that'll be the case here. And that's why we've cautioned a lot of folks to not travel in the morning, especially if you're in that, we're going to show you the map here soon, especially if you're in the heavier zones. I wouldn't advise traveling in the morning because the snow is going to come down heavy enough. Wind's going to be blowing a little bit. You already have really reduced visibility. And you're going to have real quick slick spots that may not be there 5 minutes ago. But they're going to pop up real fast because the snow is coming down heavy enough. So advance this forward. This is valid for 6 to 7 a.m. Remember, the timestamps up here in the left. You see the line kind of just stalls. And again, whoever is on the correct side of that freezing line, for example, on this model run in particular, don't take this 100% verbatim, but in this run on particular, The Somerset, just north, that seems to be the sweet spot at the moment, according to this model. Again, there are different models depicting different things. I know it's crazy. We're only 6 to 7 hours from the starting. We still have models that are showing different things. That just kind of shows how complex this system is. I mean, even the models don't have a handle on it. It's really crazy stuff. So advancing this forward, this is valid for 8 to 9 a.m. We'll start to see that freezing line begin to lift north as that sun comes up. It'll give it a little bit more temperature to work with. We'll start to slowly see this freezing line lift north, and those folks that did see snow at one point will now begin to transition to rain. This will start as rain, go to snow, and then go back to rain at the ending for most, okay? I advance this forward to 9 to 10. That freezing line is right along the parkways, once again showing some heavier burst that might move west to east. We'll keep an eye on those. But now Bowling Green, Paducah, and Somerset and Pikeville, you're all included in just a mainly really cold and annoying rainfall at this point. All right, advance this forward. This is the last hour that this model can see. And by about lunchtime, it has that freezing line right along the parkways and just to the points north with a heavy burst occurring in Hardin County at this point. All right, that's all that model can see. And the bad thing is, I want to go back and show you a longer range of this same model, but the problem is, it doesn't share the same idea. Even the same model doesn't share the same idea that it had just 2 hours ago. That's the problem here. So advance this forward. It kind of has a similar idea, but you'll see that on this run, this has more rain involved with it, less sleet, and it has a freezing line much more north than it did on the other run that we looked at. So again, a really, really tricky thing here. But overall, though, I do want to show you our snow forecast here in just 1 second. I do got to give you a couple quick messages from our sponsors, though. They're the reason we can do this for you guys. And then we'll show you guys our snow forecast and answer a few questions here for you. All right. Starting with Right Implement. I want to say they do have some more winter supplies in stock. If you don't have any salt or any of your local stores don't have any salt, make sure you go check out Right Implement. They have plenty of salt, plenty of winter supplies in stock, and it's just a phenomenal company that you want to support. So make sure you go check out Right Implement. Thank you to those folks for supporting us here. FBI Buildings has over half a century of experience in renovating, remodeling, and rebuilding any residential and commercial building. They also can give your pole barns some new life. If any disaster does hit, be sure to go to FBIbuildings.com for a free quote. No obligation on that either. So really great stuff there. A little bit newer to Kentucky, but they have over 50 years of experience. It's really good company. Digital Solutions from Radcliffe, Kentucky is a family-owned tech shop. Be sure to repair or purchase any device from them and keep the business local. You see the theme here. I like to keep things local. Thank you to Kayla and her team for supporting WNK. Finally, it's a good idea after this harsh winter to make sure your roofs, almost at roads, your roofs are ready for the springtime storms. If you're in or around Hardin County, make sure you check out Hyper Roofing at the link on your screen, which should be scrolling in the chat at some point over a span of 5 to 7 minutes. Again, I could list all their accolades. They have phenomenal reviews across the board on Google, Better Business Bureau, so on and so forth. But just know if I trust them and use them, you should too. And get ahead of the storms this spring by making sure that your roof is ready to go beforehand. Don't get caught in the storms without a good roof to go over your head. So that's the messages from our sponsors. Thank you to all of them. Of course, Weatherwise.app as well. You guys know how phenomenally I think of them. Thank you to those folks as well. So that's our messages from our sponsors. Let's go ahead and pull up our snow forecast here. So here's the newest forecast. Once again, this could change. At this point, though, I think I might just kind of leave it and we'll play it by ear. I just want you guys to know, really, truly, I just want you guys to know, whether it's us, whether it's NWS, whether it's WLKY, WDRB, WKYT, WBK, whoever you watch, Weather Channel, if you're still watching the Weather Channel in 2025, I don't know what's wrong with you. But regardless of who you watch, take it easy on them tomorrow, all right? This is not an easy forecast by any means. And last time things went a little bit wrong, so many people just sent me some disgusting messages. Guys, it's a snow map. It's a snow map. It's basically, I hate making snow maps because they're never going to be perfect. If my hand jiggles by a little bit, and for example, accidentally includes this little purple zone instead of making it blue, right, then you're going to have people mad, right? So just remember, these are human-made. We have feelings too. I know the world, I know the career I got into, but I just want you guys to remember, a difference of a half a degree at 4,000 feet up can mean all the difference in the world on whether you see the higher end of your zone or the lower end of your zone, or whether you overachieve or underachieve, or whether you see more rain or more snow. A half a degree to 1 degree can truly make all the difference when you're dealing with temperatures that are right around that freezing line. This is not January. We're not full of cold air outside. Guys, it was 70 degrees 48 hours ago. I mean, the complexity of this system is quite high. So that's why you've seen even the National Weather Service, they've changed their forecast several times today. And we have a little bit as well. I try not to, but once again, I do it as I see needed. But just again, for example, if you're in Madisonville and you're only expecting 2 to 4 inches and you end up with 5 inches, please don't message me any dirty messages. Or if you're in Lexington and you're hoping to see up to 6 inches, but you end up with 2 inches, just 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 let it be. It's a snow map, right? Um, but here's our latest thinking. Now that I'm getting off my soapbox, 3 to 6 inches expected for this purple zone. 2 to 4 inches for the blue zone. 1 to 3 inches for the teal zone, and some flakes, but mainly rain. Maybe a little bit of sleet mixing in as well for that white zone down there. Before everyone eventually, by the way, everyone eventually at some point tomorrow will transition to rain. Okay, on the backside. It'll start the south first and then creep its way up, just kind of like I showed you on the model data. All right, so we do know that everyone will likely start as some sort of rain, go to a longer period of snow, and then end as rain. Those folks that stay in the snow longer are going to be the folks that see more snowfall. Right now, we think it's that purple area. It can wiggle a little bit north, it can wiggle a little bit south. It's been wiggling all day long nonstop. So, once again, expect numerous updates. For example, down here in Somerset, look at the top part of the county: purple, middle, blue, bottom, teal, very bottom, white. So one county there has 4 different zones. All right. And we don't do that on purpose. I don't like to mess with people. We do this because this is what the data is reflecting. If that shifts by 30 miles, well, now half the county either doesn't have any snow or has 6 inches of snow. So just want to put that into example as well, that a northern portion of a county may see more snowfall than a southern portion of a county. So again, look around at what's happening for the entire state tomorrow, not just your area, and that might give you some idea of what actually happened. So again, that's our snow forecast. Should start for everyone sometime between the 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. time frame. It'll start sooner for you folks in the south, and then it will travel its way to the north. And so the earlier part of the window will be those folks in the south. The latter part of that window will be the folks to the north, all right? So 2 to 6 a.m. Eastern time is the general start time for all of Kentucky. Once again, earlier for the south, later for the north. And then everyone should transition to some sort of rain by the afternoon at the latest. For you folks in the south, it'll be the same thing. It'll be earlier transition for you in the south, later transition for you folks in the north. Whoever gets on the right side of that freezing line, just to the north of that freezing line, will see the heaviest snowfall. I wouldn't be surprised if someone ends up with 6 to 8 inches out of this. Once again, really, really, really massive snowflakes that we're talking about here. Those very wet, very heavy snowflakes are really great to go sledding on. Really great to make snowmen or snowballs with. Really hard to shovel as well. So if you're at a bit of a higher risk category, I don't recommend shoveling tomorrow. Maybe just throw some salt down if you can. It's gonna be very, very heavy snowfall to try to move around. Um, Overall, will the rain melt the snow? Of course, a little bit. It will compact it. It's just like when you take a slushy, right? If you have a cup of shaved ice and you go put room temperature syrup on it, it compacts. It doesn't necessarily melt it all the way. It takes time to melt it all the way, right? But it will compact it at first. So yeah, the rain will help a little bit, but the rain will also be very, very cold. We're not talking about a 50-degree rain here. We're talking about a 34-degree rain. So it won't help entirely too much. But it will absolutely help a little bit. And plows should be able to handle this very well. However, of course, snowfall will exist all the way until around lunchtime for a lot of folks. So travel for that morning commute up until lunchtime and maybe even dinner time, depending upon how long the snow sticks around. We don't recommend any travel. Matter of fact, I do want to show you real quickly. Let's go ahead and turn the watches and warnings off. I do want to show you the outlook from the Weather Prediction Center from the National Weather Service. Their overall impact is a moderate impact for around the parkways, a minor impact for those folks in yellow. So they do also expect some travel issues to occur. Once again, in the morning and in the afternoon. And this is why you're seeing a lot of schools either delay or even go ahead and close or use an NTI day tomorrow. Not necessarily because we expect the snow to stick around forever, but because the heaviest snowfall time frame will be about 5 a.m. until about lunchtime. So that's your heaviest snowfall time frame. So again, we don't advise any travel. Of course, you guys are going to do what you want to do. I don't blame you. But for our responsibility, is to tell you to not travel tomorrow morning. So, once again, I think that's what we're looking at. I do think we'll see these winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories move a little bit. Once those get updated, we will post those for you, so don't worry about that. We'll get that information out to you as it comes through. Yeah, I did see some schools already canceled. Alex asked, "This snow won't stay around for too long, right? Right. We have a warm front coming in Wednesday night. So by the latest Thursday morning, 90% or more of the snowfall will be gone. So this is the type of snow that snow lovers are going to love. For those of you that don't necessarily love snow, don't worry, it won't stick around too long. And it's that kind of snow that you can have fun in. Again, it's the good sticky snow that can make good snowballs, good snowmen, go sledding in, but not too long for it to stick around. Gretchen, it's really hard to forecast power outages. I don't think we're probably looking at too many. Once again, we're looking at mainly snow here. We're not looking at freezing rain. We could see a little sleet mix in, but that doesn't sit on power lines. That falls right through. So I don't think there will be too many power outages tomorrow. Do you think Hardin County will cancel school? I don't tell them what to do whenever they ask for information. I give them information, but I try to stay out of that whole school closing game. It's a Some parents get wildly mad. Some parents get wildly happy. So I stay out of that game. I stay out of that game. I don't expect any ice, Laura, really. Again, the surface temperatures will be above freezing, so I'm not expecting too many ice accumulations. It's the quick, very quick snow. I mean, guys, we're talking about, again, just to show you once more here, we're talking about the potential for this thing to last, let's say, 7 hours to 15 hours. In a matter of 8 to 10 hours, we're talking about the potential for 4 to 6 inches of snow in the heaviest spots. So you're talking about a really quick, that's really fast in snow terms, a really quick thumping of snow. That's going to be the problem for roadways. Again, Megan, it all just depends on how fast the snowplows get out there. It also depends on how long the snow sticks around. I would just say keep tuned for updates. I don't expect there to be um, any recommendations for travel at all tomorrow, really, until at least dinner time. Again, it's gonna take a while for that snow to get out of here. Again, really heavy, really sticky snowfall. Carl, I'm not sure. I would just provide the forecast information. Again, I don't get into the business of what you guys should do for work or what you guys should do for schools or doctors' appointments or what you should tell your bosses. That's up to you guys to use your context. I stay out of that. I stay out of that business because if I tell you guys to do something that doesn't happen and you guys get yelled at work, I don't want you to come yelling at me. So I stay out of that business. Well, who asked about that? Misty. So again, your question. I made this map. So again, well, you got to remember a little human error. Maybe if I my hand wiggles by a little bit and I don't notice it, it could be a little bit too far to the south that's why genuinely, guys, I love snow. You guys know if you've been around here long, winter is my favorite time frame. But I genuinely despise making snow maps because a lot of people don't understand that I make these by hand. So, for example, if my hand wiggles a little bit, I don't notice it. Now the color's a little bit wrong. Or if I put 2 to 4 instead of 2 to 5, now technically your range is wrong. Again, these are human made. Just add some context clues. Right, Lexi. Not the one on the not that one. The other one on the NW. You talking about this one right here, or this one? Again, Sean, I think generally everyone in the state will be around 31 to 33 degrees until that warm front or until that warm air tries to surge in the afternoon. And then people will start to go up a little bit. Not too much, but a little bit. Yeah, Rachel, well, I do think a decision to at least delay, if not close, is probably inevitable for Hardin County. Again, I don't get into telling them what to do, but if it's my butt in that chair, probably an NTI day tomorrow. When is the code over for the year? Not too sure. We're still seeing signs of cold air shots coming in all the way through March, so might be a long one. Again, for those asking if your place will see much snow, I ask you to refer to the map that so a little insight here with you. I have made 6 snow maps today. That's how much this thing is either moved or the last map didn't reflect it exactly how I wanted it to. We've issued 3 of them, but we've made 6 of them. So it's been quite the system. This is about far been the hardest system we've had in a long time. And again, it all comes down to what those temperatures are going to look like several thousand feet above our heads. Temperature at the ground is not really going to matter. Temperature on the ground is not really going to matter. It's the temperature at about 3,000 feet up. That's the one that's going to matter, and that's the one that no model can agree on. So it's a tough forecast. It really is. Andrea says, is there a chance of it shifting any further south? It absolutely can. The model trends today have been to shift south. I would tell you that yesterday, the highest snowfall zone was between Florence and Owenton, Kentucky. Now the highest snowfall zone is between Danville and like Campbellsville and Somerset. So that's a shift of about 100 miles, of about 70 to about 100 miles or so. Again, it's been shifting all day. It's been shifting all day, and that's been one of the headaches. Again, we don't control that, so a lot of people don't realize that as well. Is we'll put a snow map out, and then it'll change. Like, why are you changing the snow map? Well, I can't help it if it moves. I'm just trying to reflect the latest data here. But thank you all for being so kind, and all the likes and shares on both YouTube and Facebook. All the new subscribers and followers, welcome. Again, we'll post several updates here. I'm going to run a little bit. New data is coming in now, so I'm going to run. I'll probably do an update whenever the snow first starts, a live update when the snow first starts. So make sure you have notifications turned on either YouTube or Facebook, whatever you want to do. Again, we'll post several updates as well. If the warnings or watches or advisories change, we'll post those updates. Let you guys know what's going on. I'm George Herbig, Chief Forecaster here with WNK. That's going to wrap up our broadcast for now. I feel like we've done a good job of answering everyone's questions here. We'll get this map posted on our page here soon as well for you. Until then, of course, guys, just stay calm, be patient. We'll get those updates out to you. And if it doesn't go exactly the way it does that you want it to go tomorrow, hopefully you add it. You act in a little bit of faith with us. I'm George Herbig, Chief Forecaster here with WNK. Till next time, stay safe, Kentucky.